About a year and a half since my last Iceberg, with season 3 just finished airing, we've gotten an insane amount of new Easter eggs, obscure references, and bits of lore added to the world of Smiling Friends. Enough to fill this whole new iceberg. As you can tell, there's quite a lot to get through, so let's not waste any time. This is the definitive Smiling Friends Iceberg Part 2. Layer 1. Smiling Shorts. To build hype for Season 3, 2 special webisodes entitled Smiling Shorts were uploaded across AdamSwim's socials. They're only a minute long, but they're both pretty awesome. First was Pim's eyes, where Pim gets eye surgery. Apparently he's always been really insecure that they're different sizes, but it ends up making him look a lot less cute.
I mean, is there anything that you could do to, like, possibly reverse?
No, it's stuck like this forever.
I'm sorry, yeah, I don't...
It's alright.
And the second introduces us to the Roy Disney character, with us seeing the tail end of one of Pim and Charlie's jaws, making Roy smile. His weird voice and the way he whimsically flies across the screen is really funny.
Because I was over there for a second and and...
But as Pim and Charlie find out, there's something more sinister behind his wacky exterior.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, he really was, man. I really love that guy. What? My wallet's gone.
What?
What?
Really?
That's all my stuff.
Okay, yeah, I'll call now.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go get him. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go.
Okay,
I'm gonna go.
yeah, go
I'll be
for
right
it.
back. Okay.
Bob Chandler. When Mr. Boss warns Alan about the inspector, some of you might have had Vietnam flashbacks to one of the funniest videos of Chris Chan's career, featuring one Bob Chandler.
You get all that stuff off of there tonight.
I'm working on it.
Go work on it.
I am
Do
working.
you realize something? Let me tell you. If the health department of Greene County sees those videos that you put on the damn internet, they could condemn our house and we would have to move out of it.
Alan, we are so fucked. Do you realize something? If we fail this inspection, we could lose our office and we'd have to move out of it?
No.
In the original video, Bob is trying to get Chris to take down a video showing the insane state their house was in, concerned the health department would see it and kick them out. So I guess it fits here. It's a video Zach Hadel has specifically mentioned loving multiple times.
Unironically, it's like a tick I've developed now. Where I go, do you realize something? If the health department of Greene County sees those videos, they could condemn our house, and we'd have to move out of it. I think about that video daily. I'm not kidding.
Self-inserts. I mentioned him back in the first Iceberg, but since then the Cool Autistic Gamer, along with a few other channels, have really exploded in popularity. Essentially, they just edit themselves into clips from the show as if they've always been there. Dolly Dimpley started uploading during this season, where she basically tries her hardest to ruin every joke she's around.
Not as bad as I thought. It looked pretty good.
The penis?
I
Yeah, I saw it too. Yeah, it looked good. Looked like a
Because he
good
hyped
penis.
it up and said it would be horrible
Yeah.
and said it would
I
be
thought
ugly.
it looked delicious.
What?
What's that?
I thought the penis looked delicious.
Did I hear that right? Alan, do you mind repeating that? He didn't just say what I think he said, did he, guys? Y'all heard that too? Yeah. Yo, Alan. What the actual Like, why would you say that? Why did you think that was an okay thing to say?
There's somewhat of an ongoing narrative where no one ever acknowledges her, and as the uploads go on, it becomes clear that this isn't just a video editing limitation, but part of its story. As in later uploads, you can tell the real characters are aware of her, but simply can't or refuse to acknowledge her for some reason, causing Dolly great distress.
Doesn't look like
It's
Charlie,
the look, it's the name, it's the
That's all right.
title, man. It's all of it.
I can do this on my own if you don't want it. Yeah, that's all right.
Shut up! Shut up!
I really like this channel. The whole meta aspect of her trying to break free from the confines of being a self-insert OC ignored by the actual show is a pretty creative way of going about it, and seems like it'll keep going for a while longer. The same can't be said for the OG self-insert, Cool Autistic Gamer 774, who has so much going on I actually made a whole ass video on him like 2 weeks ago, going over the crazy story throughout his videos, and trying to find the identity of who's behind the channel. So maybe watch that after this, if you want. Official Cool Autistic Gamer mention. On Halloween, the official Adult Swim account reposted a bunch of Smiling Friends fan art, as they're wont to do. And this time they included this awesome series of the cast at a Halloween party in the office. I especially love this image of Charlie as Chica and Pim as her cupcake, but one really stands out. For the image of Alan and Gleb's costumes, in the foreground you can spot Dolly Dimpley and the Cool Autistic Gamer, getting kind of sorta officially acknowledged by Adult Swim. Sam Animation Studio. This is an animation studio recently founded by the Smiling Friends creators Zach Cadle and Michael Cusack, along with Aaron Frum. It seems this new studio handled the animation for both the Smiling shorts as well as a bunch of Adult Swim bumpers. Besides that, it seems to be an all-around kind of studio that does all forms of animations, like VFX, post-production, 2D and 3D. The name Sam Animation, of course, comes from their names, Zach, Aaron, and Michael, and their website looks pretty cool. Blue Janitor Dude. The Blue Janitor Dude. I love this guy. Described as the Smiling Friends janitor, he was intended to be part of the show up until the last minute as the 5th Smiling Friend, even being visible on the storyboards for the pilot episode. Apparently the joke with him was going to be that he'd be seen cleaning in the background but would always end up just making the place messier. I guess the whole background character that doesn't really do anything is kind of reductive considering we already have the vastly superior Glep, so in the end he was cut. That was until the Halloween episode of this season where during the witch's hallucination with Pim killing off everyone in the office, one of those he kills is the Blue Janitor Dude himself. This whole scene is awesome. The animation looks insane and especially the lighting, it's probably my favorite scene from the whole show. And I completely soyed out when the Janitor Dude showed up. And an especially cool deep cut is that the pose he's seen in is the very same as the one from the early storyboards we saw with him mopping in the background, only for him to eventually be drowned in that same mop bucket. Inspector Rectal Pen. When the inspector turns to sand, he leaves behind his clipboard, which is in his hands, but also his pencil, which when you look closely was somewhere a lot less normal. At first I thought maybe it was in his pocket or something, but slowing down the footage, yeah, it was in his ass. Cameos. Like usual, there are various voice cameos throughout the season. Some worth noting, Jim Norton plays the Mothman.
Yo, what's up? It's me, Mothman, legendary cryptid.
Apparently he has a lot in common with personality-wise. I don't know because I'm a zoomer, so I don't know Opie and Anthony lore. David Furt, who played Shrimp, returns as Mole Man.
Behold!
You didn't just see my penis, did you?
And we see D. Brian O'Halloran, who plays Dante from Clerks, as himself, which was probably the funniest of the season. And of course, major shoutouts to Creed Bratton, who absolutely killed it as Father Frog.
My boy, where's my boy? No, no! You walked out on this family, and now you come back? Now?
Brendan Caulfield Early Music. This is a pretty cool channel run by the music guy from Smiling Friends. It has full clean versions of a bunch of the music from the show. Probably the most interesting thing here though would have to be this video, which shows his early renditions of the iconic Smiling Friends intro theme. Take a listen. Episode 9 and 10. What if I told you there were 2 more episodes of Season 3 that they don't want you to know about? Yes, it's true, according to multiple sources, the season's not actually over yet. There are 2 different tweets of Smiling Friends crew members mentioning the existence of an episode 9 and 10, which were deleted shortly after, presumably because Adult Swim told them to. And midway through this season, people noticed some random German streaming site had accidentally listed the mysterious bonus episodes, with titles and descriptions. First off is FriendBot version 125892187318213528796879521, with the description being, "The Smiling Friends befriend a helpful robot. What happens next will shock you." And episode 10 reads, "Charlie's uncle dies and doesn't come back. Tim and Charlie meet Charlie's mysterious uncle, a real mysterious trickster, and then Alan completely loses it." There is currently a lot of confusion within the fandom regarding these episodes, since we're yet to get any proper acknowledgement. Obviously these could just be fake, and personally I think the episode 10 description being about Charlie's uncle feels a little fan servicey. The doomer interpretation some people have is that since we got 2 Smiley shorts, they might be counted as 2 episodes of season 3 internally, making them episode 1 and 2, and R7 and 8, 9 and 10 like officially. I mean, that could be true, but the crew members mentioning it all but confirmed the real existence to me. And we already have a precedent set by the Brazil episode releasing a few months after its season ended, while being counted as part of the season. So I'm a believer. As for when we get these episodes, my money's on April Fool's Day, since Adult Swim loves their April Fool's Day surprises. Layer 2. Merch. With how popular the show is by this point, we are finally getting some proper Smiling Friends merchandise. First, Adult Swim released a proper version of that beautiful Gleb plush that was previously exclusive to 2023's San Diego Comic-Con. There are also these really cool final figures, including a real version of that little version of Mr. Boss. I really want these, but for now they're exclusive to various in-person promotional events. Hot Topic has shirts and plushies, and finally U2's has announced they'll be releasing Smiling Friends figures soon, showing off this very faithful looking Pim and a Mr. Frog plush, which thankfully don't have those disgusting trademark U2's checkmark eye things. The Simpsons War. This year in the finale of their 36th season, oh my god, The Simpsons included this thinly failed parody of Smiling Friends, with Bart watching Screaming Friends on his iPad.
Obviously, the jokes are great, but what I love is the storytelling.
I don't think it's like a mean-spirited parody necessarily, but you can tell the writers just don't get why it's so beloved, like, at all. Sort of boiling it down to just a bunch of colorful characters screaming. But it's a pretty big testament to how much Smiling Friends has grown to see it get parodied on a cultural institution like The Simpsons. Anyways, as we know, Smiling Friends would respond themselves in the Scream Returns episode, where it opens with Pim watching the Grimsons. This one feels like a much more poignant parody, like Lisa not saying anything and just holding a sign that says, "No fascism." Marge's line here feels like a direct parallel to the Simpsons parody.
What the devil are you doing on that confounded computer tablet device? Hack to it, man!
And of course, having Bart say freaking "fuck Tua" is a genius and very funny way to poke fun at how consistently out of touch modern Simpsons surface level social commentary feels. Oh, and it's a very cute detail that Homer's ear and hair spell out MC for Michael Cusack, with the real Homer of course being MG for Matt Groening. Full Steam page. When we see Mr. Boss catching Charlie playing Grand Strategy 5 on Steam when he's allegedly sick, Mr. Boss's Steam page holds a lot of very interesting little Easter eggs. I find it very funny his name is just the boss followed by a bunch of Japanese letters that so many Steam profiles have for some reason. We can see 3 games are on discount, including Alien Feeder 7, Green Horde Beast Factory, and Scream at Baby. The craziest thing though are 2 profiles we can make out from his friend list. Although blurred, this one is a very clear reference to the streamer Joel Fergus Skeletor. You can just about make out the username Tum Joey with an artistic recreation of that famous image of him. And second is an insanely deep-cut reference to the little Skatey character, who was made up and voiced by Sack on an episode of Sleepy Cabin back in the day. He's seen wearing his iconic bow tie, and I think his design is directly referencing this animation of the moment.
I'm young Skatey. Hey, baby, what's up?
Listen, okay. Little Skatey. Skatey's gay. Little Skatey.
Yeah, fucking gay.
Slavery. In the Silly Samuel episode, Mr. Boss reveals he used inhabitants of the Enchanted Forest to do cheap labor when building the Smiling Friends headquarters.
I built this office 30 years ago without any permission from the city and used cheap laborers from the Enchanted Forest to do it. This building is a fucking mess.
And in a very cool piece of continuity, during Mole Man's flashback in his episode, when we see the Smiling Friends building being built, we can see it's being done by a bunch of unenthusiastic looking goblins, just like the kind we saw in the Enchanted Forest back in Season 1. Art styles. It's become a very fun tradition for every season of Smiling Friends to bring in a few talented guest animators to bring its unique mixed media style to life. Lee Hardcastle, who you might know for videos like these, did the claymation horror movie the guys are watching in the Halloween episode, and Cos Perry, this really awesome animator with this kind of Don Bluth Animaniacs retro animation art style, designed Squim. You can see he's a big fan who's done much Smiling Friends fan art before, and he totally killed it with Squim. The way he's animated so squishy feels very fateful, and it's especially cool how you can see he casts like a shadow to look like he's on animation cells. It's a real labor of love. Early designs. Over the years, we've gotten a few glimpses into the very early designs for the show. Here we can see an early concept for the Smiling Friends office. This early look gives a much more run-down vibe with weird green carpeted floor, this torn Always Smile poster, and a much more contrasting bright color scheme. When comparing it to the current design, they mostly just simplified the layout, removing the poster, shrinking the board, and toning down the color scheme so the characters themselves stand out more. What's more interesting to me are the early designs for the cast we've seen. Alan at first has this insanely creepy sort of gangly look to him. I really do not like Beta Alan. Glep has remained largely the same, except for this very early art that shows him without his iconic hat and instead is holding what looks like a wizard staff. We of course get the most details on the two real Smiling Friends, Pim and Charlie. This earliest version of Pim looks very funny. Then there's a concept of him being naked like Alan and Glep. The turret is a lot closer to the final design, the only real difference being he has a shirt pocket and his chubbiness is a lot more pronounced. The fort shows they were considering giving him solid black eyes, but thankfully by the end, we got the perfect little squiggly-eyed Pim we all know and love today. For Charlie, there's this page iterating on his outfit design. At first he was going to wear jeans with a basic shirt, I guess. Then a jacket was considered, before ultimately settling on the hoodie and hat combo that I think perfectly fits his casual slacker attitude compared to Pim's more formal attire. Wizard Glep. Going back to that early Glep design with the staff, when combined with this unreleased poster design made during Season 1's development, it would appear Glep was originally going to be a wizard, with like magical powers and stuff. That's kind of crazy to think about, but I'm glad they didn't end up going in this direction, since him being just a normal dude like every other member of the Smiling Friends crew who just so happens to be 2,000 years old is a lot funnier in my opinion. Zack and Michael have said a big part of the comedy of the show is that the world is filled with these super wacky characters, but they feel and act extremely realistic. So having a magical wizard in the main cast would kinda undermine that. Mel Gibson. The wizard's last words here are a direct quote from Mel Gibson in a leaked audio of him going gorilla mode at his ex-girlfriend over the phone, that I guess was a pretty big scandal at the time.
You should just fucking smile and blow me! 'Cause I deserve it!
Any last words?
Yeah! Smile and blow me!
Mole Man Pictures. There is so much detail put into the pictures of Pim and Charlie hung up in Mole Man's cave. We can see redraws of scenes from like almost every episode of the series, along with new scenes we never saw. It's a cool detail that the other characters like Mr. Boss and Ellen are scribbled out of all the pictures. Some of my favorites are this one of Pim sleeping with a Mr. Millipede plush, and him curling his single exposed nerve ending. Mole Man mocking Oni Plays fans. This Mole Man gag is clearly poking fun at the whole hypothetical bit Zack is so famous for doing, especially when he's on Oni Plays.
Hey, yo guys, I've got a good one. What would you do if a gnome just ran in here all of a sudden and started going blah, 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 blah? What would you do? What would you say? Would you just want to smash it with a hammer or what?
Haha, that was really fun, Mole Man.
As for what it's specifically making fun of, people seem somewhat split. It could be making fun of Only Plays and Smiling Friends fans who try to imitate the absurd hypothetical joke, but like way less funny, which I guess is what Mole Man's doing here. But it could also just be a light jab at Zack himself for how overused the joke is over the years. Maybe even an ad-lib from David Furt.
What would you do if you went to your mom's house for Thanksgiving and your uncle opened his coat and a little gremlin goblin popped out and he said, would you pretend you just didn't see anything and not say anything, or not? Would you do something? What would you do though? But would you say something? Would you say something though? But what would you do if you were making out with your girlfriend and her head went tss, and a little alien popped out and you said, Orion's belt? Would you say something? What would you do? Would you say something?
License plate. If you pay really close attention, you might spot Silly Samuel's rundown ass car has a license plate reading Serious on it. Smiling Friends Office IRL. We got this really awesome pop-up in New York. It's a giant inflatable version of the Smiling Friends headquarters, where inside is the same recreation of the break room with a life-size Charlie and Pim from their Comic-Con booth. The main draw here was a prize wheel you could spin with a chance of getting either some pins or those cool final figures we saw earlier. I would say I wish I could have gone to this. That wasn't until I found out the queue to get into this thing was 8 goddamn hours long. Just for one photo op and a small chance to win the figures. People actually waited for this, which I guess you gotta respect. Art style change. I've noticed recently there's been some discussion and arguments over the show's change in art style, with many saying they prefer the look of season 1 and especially the pilot compared to the more professional appearance it has now. Comparing them side by side, you can see the pilot used thicker black outlines for everything, which I think makes it feel a lot more hand-drawn and cartoony. While the actual show has very thin outlines, the biggest difference being seen in the backgrounds, which used black for everything and was just generally drawn a lot more loose and cluttered, with the proper show using colored outlines and a cooler palette that contrasts the characters. Personally, I prefer the final backgrounds, but kinda miss the stronger outlines on the characters. I don't know, it kinda gives a more web animation amateurish vibe I really appreciated. Although it is pretty nitpicky since the overall animation quality, and especially the compositing we get now, is like way better. Prestige Frog. This generational scene of Creed Bratton portraying Mr. Frog's dad led to some heated arguments within the fandom when its episode premiered, relating to people's different interpretations of what the scene is meant to represent. I think it feels like a parody of the overdramatic award-baiting monologues every prestige TV show has to shove into itself nowadays, and you can find many posts of people, for one, saying how unexpectedly emotional it was, and the other people getting pissed off at those people for not getting the joke and taking it too seriously. Personally, I think both are right. It is an extremely well-acted emotional scene, but that's what makes it so funny. You know, the juxtaposition of this dramatic actor, shirtless in green makeup, playing it completely straight while blowing up at the most unserious looking character ever in Mr. Frog. Memes. There were a little bit less memes to spawn from this season than normal. I'd say the most prominent were the "Dude, I knew I liked you" rotoscopic gag, and "Hey guys, it's me Charlie," which gets used a lot as a green screen edit.
So I guess Thanos got the Mind Stone.
Wow, so now he's got all of them.
I guess so.
What does that mean for us?
I have no idea.
I knew it was gonna be us.
Yo guys, it's me Charlie. Hey, did that guy just turn into Saiyan?
Mr. Frog images. There are a ton of little gags and Easter eggs when Mr. Frog's life flashes before his eyes. It's really impressive how much detail was put into these paintings, considering the majority only stay on screen for like one frame. So here's the most interesting ones. First is Mr. Frog as a little tadpole, which is very cute. We see he used to be closer to his family with him riding on Father Frog's shoulders, him signing on to the Mr. Frog show, Mr. Frog on Joe Rogan, followed by him as Kanye West, having a Kramer moment at the Laugh Factory, robbing a bank, and it's very cool to see he remembers his time with Pim and Charlie, fondly enough for them to flash before his eyes as he's experiencing ego debt. This image recreating the Joker burning all the money from the Dark Knight goes pretty hard. Him eating a baby, and wait, is that Shrimpina? Mr. Frog becoming president obviously gets in, as well as his time with Jeffrey Epstein, as well as Putin and Xi Jinping. And from this image, I guess he got bored ruling the world and started a Let's Play channel, judging by his silver play button, ring light, and what looks like Counter-Strike. Then we see him kicking Pim's eye out from the same episode, and the final image is Mr. Frog hitting the goatsy pose. I wonder if they put this in just to troll people like me who are going to go through this thing frame by frame. Comic Sans. Pretty simple entry. Apparently the Smiling Friends logo was originally going to be in Comic Sans, but they couldn't secure the rights, so ended up making their own font instead. I guess that sounds a little funny, but honestly I prefer the font we got. Why are the Simpsons green? Sharing Smiling Friends Simpsons parody, the characters are seen with green colored skin. Some have interpreted this as a direct reference to the YouTuber Emble Lemon, who rather famously always color shifts footage of the show to turn their yellow skin green. I wonder. Layer Tree. Squim 911. When he meets Pym, Squim lets us know he retired all the way back in 2001.
Oh, hello there. My name is Squib, and I retired all the way back in 2001.
That is a very interesting year to pick. The obvious implication here is that he had to hang it up after 9/11 happened. I mean, we know he has a habit of like forcing positivity, even at times where it really isn't appropriate. So I can imagine he caused a lot of complaints to the office, probably leading to him getting fired. Wall Guy's fate. In his first appearance since the pilot, we see the Wall Guy reappear in Season 3's premiere. Well, his corpse at least. A funny detail is we can see his computer was left on, so it's playing that old Windows 95 maze screensaver. I wonder how he ended up dying. Was it natural causes? Personally, I think the Bibblies seem pretty bloodthirsty, so one of them probably killed him all the way back in the pilot episode. I love that we got to see the crazy freaking little brother of Pym that was running around super fast in the background of the pilot return in the season finale. Somehow aging like 20 years since then. And Pym asking him if he still runs around is so funny for people who remember that one background gag like 5 years ago.
Wow, you grew up so fast. So do you still run around a lot at home and stuff like that?
No, I haven't run around in a while. I just do crypto stuff now.
Oh, cool.
That same scene also gives us the very first look at Alan's family, specifically his dad, who pretty much looks identical to him but with hair, and he wears a bow tie instead of a tie. It was cool to see how close they are.
Nutritious.
Test scenes. These are two early, I guess you'd call test scenes, or just things made for fun during the show's early production that were shared over Twitter. They appear to just be phone recordings of these very charming sticky note doodles with voice acting done on the spot.
What's up with you? I don't know what the fuck, I don't know why you're doing that expression. You need to relax with that, man.
I just thought of a funny little joke. It's just nothing. Just thought of a funny joke.
I don't know, man.
It's just a funny little joke. Don't worry about it.
I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
You've been acting out lately, man.
In your opinion?
Oh god, that vape is nice. Oh fuck, that's yummy. Oh my god, that's relaxing. Fuck. Oh my god.
Creepy Charlie face. A simpler entry, this standout face for Charlie was first seen in the announcement post for Smiling Friends getting renewed for season 4 and 5. And we got to see it in its full animated glory when he enacts his devious fake sickness ploy in the Squim Returns episode. Rotoscope Origins. We got a behind the scenes view of one of the funniest scenes from the season over on Michael Cusack's Twitter, showing the live action recording creating the iconic rotoscope scene.
I'll be a bit shorter. Yeah. And you can do any normal Pym, dude.
Dude, you love Super Monkey Ball, man? Yeah, fucking bring it in here.
Oh,
yeah, come on, bro. Yeah,
it's
sick. That is dope. Yeah.
I think that last one was probably...
Cosplay references. There's some interesting details with Alan and Glep's cosplay in the Squim episode. Glep seems to be kind of a legally distinct Cloud Strife, and Alan is going as this Madoka Magica looking character. But what's really cool is this very same character is seen on a poster in Mole Man's cave. Cut 4. In the Season 3 trailer, we see this cut from Pym's song in the Mr. Frog episode, where the couple seen kissing in the background. One of them eats the other one, but oddly in the final version of the episode that aired, this is completely changed to just have them kissing without the 4. According to Sack on a panel, it was changed because having something go wrong during the song undercut Pym's optimistic message. Pyramid Head. In a crazy moment, we see the honest-to-God Pyramid Head show up out of nowhere during the witch's illusion. And in the credits for that episode, you can see special credits from Konami, who gave their blessing to use the character. Which seems pretty out of character for them, but I'm still not forgiving them for what they did to Kojima. Moon continuity. In probably the most impressive display of parascaling seen in the show so far, Mr. Frog straight up throws a tree and breaks a huge chunk out of the moon. Although a few episodes later, when we see the witch in the Halloween episode, the moon is seemingly like normal again, which is a very, very rare plot hole for this show. But maybe it's like a Sonic Adventure 2 thing, where we're just seeing it from the other side where it's not broken. Grand Strategy 5 menu screen. The live action guy that screams on the main menu for Grand Strategy 5 is actually Michael Cusack himself, with the animation being done by Luca Bigpants, who has a similar point-and-click game style, live-action edited thingies on his own channel. You've probably seen his stuff before. And on his Twitter, he shared several outtakes of Michael doing the crazy screams that are kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know if this is usable.
Creepypasta send-up. In my new favorite Smiling Friends episode ever, when Pim kills everyone in the Witch's Orb, it seems to be a pretty clear parody of those classic lost episode creepypastas. I mean, it has all the hallmarks, like the characters suddenly being super mean for no reason, and Pim going crazy at the end, killing all the other characters with this insane, over-the-top gore, and even Mr. Brass bleeding hyper-realistic blood from his eyes. Horror movie references. Also in that scene, we get 3 cool horror movie references. Charlie obviously does the Exorcist thing with possessed Gleb here. Then his face melting off feels extremely similar to the famous scene from Poltergeist. And I've never seen it, but the streets are saying the Mr. Boss eye thing is probably referencing a similar scene in Event Horizon. Gleb Hyperborea. In Gleb's mansion above his fireplace sits a map of what could perhaps be his homeland, appearing to be Hyperborea. Pim Goes to Hell. At San Diego Comic-Con, it was revealed in the early stages of the season 1 finale. The episode was originally going to feature Pim dying and going to hell instead of Charlie. Zach gives an explanation that they changed it since Pim got the main focus in the Halloween episode, and using Charlie allowed for the narrative beat of him facing his own sinful behavior and learning a lesson, which wouldn't have worked as well with the innocent, lovable Pim. Mr. Frog's slur reference. I don't know for sure how many people picked up on this or if I'm completely imagining it, but the whole Christmas guy who gives a nice message that everyone can get along, except for that group, you know the one. Well, when he's pressed by Charlie, he explains it was kind of a mind experiment, where it's whoever you come up with, which I believe is a funny reference to the very same thing Smiling Friends did with Mr. Frog's racist tirade on Jimmy Fallon.
But what he
said,
what he said in the show, in my opinion, is a Rorschach test. Like whatever you, whatever the specific person watching it thinks in their head is the worst fucking thing their head could conjure up is what he said. So
that's why it went on so long too. Because
But I'm just curious though. What group? You're not going to say what group it was. You don't want to say which
It
group?
was the group that was supposed to. It was supposed to be a mind experiment. Whoever came to your mind, but it was a joke. Doesn't matter. It didn't land as much as.
Just say the group, dude. Just say what.
Sorry.
Layer 4. Mole Man in Season 1. During Charlie's funeral at the end of Season 1, when we zoom out at the end, people spotted this weird, seemingly naked guy standing off in the trees. Knowing what we know now, with how obsessive Mole Man was with Pim and Charlie, and their striking resemblance, could this have been Mole Man the whole time? Maybe he came above ground because he was so grief-stricken to hear of Charlie's passing. DJ Spit Scar continuity. I was so happy to see the return of the presumed dead DJ Spit in Squim Returns. What's really crazy is he's now sporting a big scar on his chest, which if you remember is actual continuity from the last time we saw him where he got impaled in that exact same spot by a helicopter blade. FNAF song. When the guys entered the circus tent with Silly Samuel, people with FNAF brainwat may have noticed the song playing in the background sounded very familiar.
Alright, Silly Samuel, this group is called the Three Weird Willies.
The very same track is used as ambience in FNAF 1. It's seemingly a licensable song they probably got from the same source though, not a direct reference. Mr. Boss's clone. In the Mole Man episode when the camera moves underground, eagle-eyed viewers may have spotted what is very clearly a skeleton of Mr. Boss under the office. What the heck is this? Some funny ideas I heard is that this could be the little version of himself he tried giving to Alan, which has since rapidly grown and died, I guess. Or that it's Jason, who is also rapidly grown, I guess. Which isn't the craziest idea considering Mr. Boss certainly doesn't follow normal human rules. Or another idea is that this is either a previous version of him or the original Mr. Boss we knew, with the current one being an imposter of sorts. Which ties into our next entry. Mr. Boss personality shift. Have you noticed Mr. Boss is kind of weird this season, even by his standards? Like, he's been kind of a dick, especially when he's outwardly mean to Alan.
What's the Wi-Fi password, Mr. Boss?
Oh yeah, it's I_hate_Alan58, and it's all lowercase.
I mean, I suppose he could still be salty over the whole little Mr. Boss debacle, and they did make up in the end. But he was also extremely harsh towards Charlie lying about being sick, and generally he's been a lot creepier this season too. Some people are saying it's a little suspicious how much he's changed from the almost always loving father figure of sorts we had before. So what if it's not the same Mr. Boss at all? Abusive Charlie. Some people got very upset for how Charlie acted towards Zoe at the Christmas party, being a little verbally abusive.
You have gravy all over your face.
Hey, don't touch me. Don't ever touch me.
There have been people analyzing their relationship as of late. With what little we've seen, they seem quite dysfunctional, pretty much always arguing. But in defense of Charlie, I think he really doesn't appreciate physical contact.
Yeah, you went for my nose, you got excited, you sucked on it, and you got it.
Well...
And I wasn't... I just want you to know I wasn't cool with that at all.
Sure,
So who knows, maybe their relationship isn't as strong as it initially seemed. Or it was just a funny joke that would catch people off guard. Who knows? Mr. Boss assassination attempt. So we see Charlie has a very interesting phone home screen. It's an image of Mr. Fogg recreating the iconic image of Trump after the failed assassination attempt on him. Which is a funny gag, sure, but when you think back to the last season, when he got elected, this scene takes on a whole new meaning.
As Jimbo's gonna win, and if he doesn't...
Then I'll take matters into my own hands.
I'm just kidding.
I'll do it though.
I'm just playing, dude.
No, I'm serious.
But no, I'll actually do it.
Yeah, it looks like Mr. Boss genuinely tried to kill Mr. Frog. We can even see him walking out of the office, armed with a rifle, and this very serious expression in that scene. And that's the Iceberg. This one was a lot of fun to make. I'd like to make it a tradition to do a Smiling Friends video every year when a new season comes out. So yeah, maybe when season 4 comes out, I'll remake the old Iceberg and this one for one giant 200 entry season 1 to 4 video. But until then, thanks for watching.